Hi, this is Kazarov.
Inflation in the United States has been edging upward during the summer of 2025. After dipping early in the year, prices began climbing again in May and June. By August, headline inflation hit 2.7% year over year, with core inflation at 3.1%, a sign that price pressures remain stubborn. Tariffs on Chinese and European imports are raising costs on consumer goods, from electronics to furniture. Housing prices are still up about 4% annually, though slower than pandemic levels. The administration defends the tariffs as a necessary step to restore American manufacturing, but critics say they are fueling price increases and adding strain to consumers. For families, the issue is simple. Groceries, rent, and utilities keep going up faster than wages. The Federal Reserve remains cautious, watching whether inflation stabilizes or forces it to hold interest rates higher.
You know what cracks me up about these numbers? They throw out 2.7% inflation, 3.1 core, like regular people walk around quoting that. Nobody cares. What they care about is when they go to buy groceries and suddenly X costs more, rents up, and the bill for back to school supplies is insane. That's inflation. That's the punch in the gut. Trump's approach, hammering tariffs, saying we'll bring jobs back. It sounds tough. And sure, I'd love to see more American factories. Who wouldn't? But you can't pretend that slapping tariffs doesn't ripple through the system. Companies pass the cost to consumers. Boom, your fridge costs more, your sneakers cost more, your kid's video game console costs more. That's not abstract, that's dinner table reality. Now, here's the weird part. People want strong leadership, but they don't want to feel punished for it. If the trade war raises prices, regular families take the hit while politicians brag about protecting industries. That feels disconnected. And the Fed, these guys are stuck in a no win game. They want inflation at 2%, but tariffs shove it up. So, do they hike rates again? Do they hold? Markets freak out, workers freak out, and it turns into this stress loop. As a centrist, I'm not saying tariffs are evil or that Trump's wrong to fight for American jobs. But if the end result is people paying more just to live, you've got to question the strategy because at the end of the day, no one votes based on core CPI. They vote based on whether their lives feel more affordable or not. And right now, not so much.
By September 2025, inflation has become the single most cited concern for American households. A recent poll showed 61% of voters disapprove of Trump's handling of prices. Economists warn that upcoming mass deportations could shrink the labor force, particularly in food production and construction, creating supply shocks. That scenario could drive inflation toward 4% in early 2026. Meanwhile, Trump's repeated attacks on the Federal Reserve, demanding rate cuts and threatening to fire governors, have sparked fears of a politicized central bank. Financial analysts caution that undermining the Fed's independence could erode global confidence in the dollar and fuel inflation expectations. For everyday people, though, the technical details matter less. They just see weekly bills rising, savings stretched thin, and no clear sign that policy decisions in Washington will bring quick relief.
Here's the thing when 6 out of 10 Americans say you are blowing it on inflation, that's not a partisan poll. That's people feeling squeezed. They don't care about debates on headline or core inflation. They care that a week's groceries cost $20 more and their landlord just raised rent again. That's how people live it. Now, deportations. Look, I get the argument, rule of law, strong borders. But if you yank millions of workers out of farms, factories, and job sites, you don't magically replace them. Who picks the crops? Who builds the houses? Who cleans the hotels? You squeeze supply, and when supply drops, prices rise. That's just Econ 101, and families end up paying for that. And messing with the Fed, that's a red line. The whole reason the Fed exists as an independent body is so we don't jerk the economy around every time politics swings. If people think the White House is steering rates for short term wins, trust disappears. Once trust goes, inflation expectations jump, and that alone pushes prices higher. It's like a psychological wildfire. As a centrist, I look at this and think Americans want strength, but they also want stability. You can't muscle every problem, trade, migration, monetary policy, without some kind of backlash. Inflation is that backlash. It's the pressure gauge on whether your policies actually work for people. At the end of the day, folks want to buy dinner, pay rent, maybe save a little. If politics makes that harder, it doesn't matter what the speeches say. People will feel it in their wallets, and that's the only scoreboard that counts.